For my review of episode 7 of Star Trek Picard, let me talk about Rotten Tomatoes for a minute, where this episode has a rating of 100% from professional critics. And professional critics, like in my mind, should know something about writing. At the very least, they should know about the basics about creative writing that they teach you in high school. Like, you can look at me, I'm obviously not a very smart guy, I'm a high school dropout, but I was in high school and I had like the basics of creative writing. And episode 7 of Star Trek Picard, it's basically that kind of conversations that they had in the show Frasier, where they say a very vague half sentence and the opposite immediately knows what they're talking about. But in Frasier, it's like two brothers who grew up together, who have been on the same wavelength all their life. And in this Picard episode, it's people who just met each other. So they say half sentences to each other, very vague half sentences. They immediately know what they're talking about. Like, oh, I just met you, and you say this very vague half sentence. I immediately know what you're talking about. This is written by a Pulitzer Prize winning author. And it does not feel real at all. Because in the real world, if you meet a complete stranger and he says a very vague half sentence to you, you do not immediately know what that person is talking about. It doesn't work that way. As a writer, as a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, you should know that. And as a professional critic on Rotten Tomatoes, you should also know that it does not work that way in the real world, and it does not feel real to anybody. That's basic writing 101 they teach you in high school. That you always have to assume that the person who is reading what you're writing doesn't know anything. Because obviously the person who is reading your story doesn't know what is inside your mind, doesn't know what you're writing about until you tell them. But yeah, we live in the Rian Johnson reality where you can just assume the audience is obligated for some reason to know what I was thinking when I was writing this. Otherwise, they're evil people. No, nobody is obligated to somehow have telepathic abilities to know what you are writing about. You, as a writer, have to tell us what you are writing about. You have to tell us what this story is about. We cannot assume, we cannot guess. We are just people watching. Tell us what your story is about. Don't tell us half sentences and assume we just know what you're talking about. That isn't how creative writing works. What went wrong with you people? Supposedly you went to college, university, got super amazing writing degrees, Pulitzer Prizes, whatever. You don't know the basics of writing. The basic of writing is that your reader doesn't know anything. You have to tell your reader what is going on. This episode does not tell us what is going on. We have to assume. what went wrong with the Pulitzer Prize winning author to go full Ryan Johnson? It's like it's like Akiva Goldsman has like a contagious virus of his bad writing, and it went over to Michael Chabon. It's like Akiva virus. The world economy is being threatened by Akiva virus. I can believe that. All oil prices are going down. The world economy is plummeting because of Akiva virus. That's what's happening. Just come on. If this guy really got a Pulitzer Prize for writing, this episode of Star Trek Picard obviously doesn't justify it, because writing 101 that you learn in high school is like your audience doesn't know what you're trying to tell them until you literally like tell people what is going on. And it's like the entire story on Nepenthe, which is like a bad ripoff of Rudra Penthe. We all got the reference. Yes, we got the reference. Very impressive. And only other thing that's going on is Hugh, of course, being killed like every TNG character on Star Trek Picard, and by that woman who is like a reaction to the feminist movement. We have to have strong women, but because we don't understand the feminist movement, we have to have her wear a costume that is so tight that it reveals every detail. Like, we know the Me Too movement, it's against women not being strong, so we have strong women that wear super tight costumes that are so tight basically the nipples and other private parts stick out, because we have absolutely no idea what Me Too means, but we understand that it is happening. Yeah, whatever. And only other thing to that shit show was the ending. Yeah, he calls 7 of 9. The elf guy called 7 of 9, and there's this side story about Dr. How many episodes now? I don't remember her name, the blonde doctor. Turns out the Vulcan with the ears that go like 20 meters in each direction, that security person with the ears that go 20 meters in each direction, she was actually a Vulcan wearing sunglasses on Earth, even though Vulcan is a discipline. And the Vulcan with ears which go 20 meters in each direction threatened her and made her swallow something, and the blonde doctor person tried to make that go away with some chemical, and first of all, Vulcans don't have ears that go 20 meters in each direction, and they wouldn't wear sunglasses on Earth if they come from a desert planet and have an extra eyelid. We all mentioned that before. And second of all, this is supposed to be a big character reveal, and I really like this actress, which is like one big point, that one of the few points that makes it so much better than Star Trek Discovery. I really like this actress and how she is portraying the character, but please don't make her do so stupid things. You have an actress which is like really likable, plays her character in a really likable way. Please don't involve her in stories that are so stupid. Please don't do that, because that is really stupid. Stop that. Stop the Utrecht stories. And like in the beginning of the episode, the worst part of all is like they're trying to justify the existence of Star Trek Discovery by having her mention a Gormaganda. It's like, oh no, it's like the Ephraim and Dot short track where they try to force their shit show into classic Star Trek. No, don't do that. Your shit show has nothing to do with classic Star Trek, obviously. Nobody wants your shit show in classic Star Trek. Stop doing that. And they just keep wanting to do that. It's painful. Stop doing that. Stop doing painful shit. But that's just that shit. The major part of the episode, luckily, is just Michael Chabon being incredibly shitty at writing by doing these Frasier things that we have these characters who just talk to each other for the first time in their lives, and they say vague half sentences and immediately know what they're talking about. What you learn in high school 101, Michael Chabon obviously doesn't give a shit because he contracted Akiva virus, and he is really suffering, lying in bed, suffering from Akiva virus. It's like, oh no, I contracted Akiva virus. I just need to drink water for the next 10 weeks. Please give me a vaccine. No. It just sucks so much. It's so terrible. Yeah, and there have been some solid good moments in this show so far, and I really, to Michael Chabon, I wish the best. Please recover from Akiva virus. I wish you the best. Akiva virus is a serious thing. Please recover. I wish you the best. I genuinely and honestly wish you the best. Please recover from your Akiva virus infection, and be well, be good, be happy. Have a good life, have a happy life.